Crime Syndicate Superwoman, an evil doppelganger of Wonder Woman. When one hears of Superwoman, then we would naturally think of Superman's counterpart, another crime-fighting heroine who is both beautiful and a boss. Except this is not the case in today's episode. Superwoman is also the name used by numerous fictional supervillains who appear in DC Comics. All of them are Wonder Woman's bad or corrupted alternate universe counterparts. The first Superwoman appeared alongside the rest of the Crime Syndicate of America in Justice League of America number 29. The Earth 3 Superwoman, whom we will be mainly focusing on, was created by Garner Fox and artist Mike Sikorsky. Superwoman is a brilliantly cunning woman capable of serious manipulation and ruin. She wields her lasso of submission like a general holds his favorite sword, ensuring people are enslaved to her will. She clearly has many facets to explore, which is precisely what we'll be doing today. Before we go into our explanation, however, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is just a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thanks so much. Let's begin. Who is Superwoman in Crime Syndicate? There are many parallel Earths in DC Comics, but none is more famous than Earth 3, which is home to the villainous Crime Syndicate. This version of Earth has turned even Goody Two-Shoes Justice League into an evil dark mirror of the real world. It seems that every conventional DC hero has a wicked equivalent in this twisted world, except Wonder Woman. There is no evil Wonder Woman that we've seen so far. However, Superwoman serves as a lip-smacking treat. She had referred to Wonder Woman as Dear Departed Diana in a letter in Crime Syndicate 2, implying that Diana is apparently deceased in this world. That would mean that there was once an Earth 3 version of Diana, but she has since vanished or is no more. However, this does not imply that the Diana from Earth 3 was a bad person just because Earth 3 is the polar opposite of the standard DC universe where evil triumphs over good. Unlike the rest of Crime Syndicate, Diana must just have been too morally upright to be corrupted by Earth 3 and hence had to be killed off for the survival and functioning of their universe. This is the theory that at least we stand by. Superwoman is a close second when it comes to evil Wonder Woman, as both have shared descent and similar weapon of choice, the lasso. Superwoman, like Wonder Woman, was an Amazonian, therefore she also had superhuman strength and flight abilities. This Amazon, however, was a rebel who departed Paradise Island out of her own free will after learning about the outside world, unlike Princess Diana, who was an acknowledged leader of the Amazons. Although Superwoman had been active for many years, the Amazons of Earth 3 had never attempted to recall her from the outside world. In her later appearances, she is frequently seen with a white streak of hair, indicating that she was aging in later storylines, similar to the Wonder Woman of Earth 2, who was deprived of her immortality by the Amazons for disobeying their rules and regulations. While Wonder Woman 2's choice of weapons is the lasso of truth, Superwoman uses the lasso of submission. Unlike most all other versions, her golden lasso could transform her into any shape she wanted, even into a huge winged snake. As mentioned earlier, Superwoman is a highly manipulative woman in this world. She is married to Ultraman, the most influential and powerful person in this version of Earth. However, their relationship is neither very good nor healthy. She used to cheat on Ultraman with Owlman and sometimes Alexander Luthor, the enemy of the Syndicate, as well. She used to pit the men against each other. Owlman also used similar strategies by collecting evidence of Superwoman's infidelity and threatening Ultraman with it. Since he is a powerful figure, it would be a rather shameful thing for the world to know that his own wife also doesn't care enough about him to stay loyal. As far as her abilities and powers go, Superwoman has superhuman strength, invulnerability, flying, speed, increased senses, and the power to live forever. She has the same strength like Wonder Woman because she is also an Amazonian. She was able to rip open the thick doors of Arkham's asylum with her power. The antimatter version of her is said to have heat vision as well, like her husband Ultraman. The magic lasso of Earth 3 Superwoman can change shape at will, while the antimatter Earth version can liberate people's inhibitions. The antimatter version also has wristbands that can deflect bullets, akin to that of Wonder Woman. Superwoman character evolution. Superwoman is regarded as Crime Syndicate's most deranged member. In the Silver Age, she started off as a doe-eyed simple Amazonian who had discovered the wonders of life outside Paradise Island. However, she was never that naive and simple to not be evil. This was her first ever version. She lost her immortality like Earth 2 Wonder Woman as we see her with a lock of white hair. The Crime Syndicate first arrived at Earth 1 because they thought their abilities were becoming weak in the absence of an actual threat. After being exposed to a hunk of kryptonite, Ultraman gained the ability to gaze between worlds and discovered Earth 1. On Earth 1, Wonder Woman defeated Superwoman, and on Earth 2, Black Canary defeated our supervillain by tangling her in her own lasso. When Superwoman accuses Black Canary of unfair advantage due to a vibratory force instilled in their bodies by Power Ring, she is taken to Earth 3 along with the other Justice Society of America members. Superwoman was vanquished once more by Wonder Woman in the fight on Earth 2. Superwoman would remain imprisoned between dimensions after being defeated by the combined forces of Earth 2's Justice Society of America and Earth 1's Justice League of America. It won't be until Captain Comet and the secret society of supervillains pass through the dimensions, accidentally freeing her along with Power Ring and Johnny Quick, that she can escape. However, Superwoman and her fellow Crime Syndicate members were once again imprisoned after being vanquished by Captain Comet. It was only when Pedegathan and the Ultras Humanite and his new time-travelling band of the Secret Society came to Earth 3 that Superwoman and the Crime Syndicate could finally escape. In post-crisis comics, Superwoman and the rest of the Crime Syndicate come from a parallel world similar to Earth. However, they are also located in an antimatter reality, also home to the planet Quad. As revealed in Grant Morrison's 2000 graphic novel JLA Earth 2. Superwoman has continued to appear as a member of the Crime Syndicate sporadically, most notably in Justice League and Superman publications. In Justice League Quarterly number 8, the Quadian version of Superwoman appeared but only in a flashback. She has the same origins as the Silver Age Superwoman, but she is a Quadian entity from the antimatter universe of Quad. According to Hal Jordan, this Crime Syndicate has previously fought the Justice League of America, Justice Society of America, and Captain Comet. After this issue, this version of Superwoman and the Crime Syndicate she was a member of were never seen or heard from again. Earth 2 Superwoman hails from Quad's antimatter realm, but she is not a Quadian. She was born on Damnation Island, the antimatter term for Paradise Island. She is the last Amazon in her world since she killed her fellow Amazonian sister. In fact, when she met Donna Troy, she was overjoyed at the possibility of being able to murder another member of her kind for the first time in years. After she left the island to explore the human world, she assumed the alias Lois Lane. Then she began working as a reporter for the Daily Planet, which she refers to as Patriarch's World. What became of the real Lois Lane remains unknown. The secret identity is similar to that of Diana Price, the alias used by Wonder Woman. Despite her co-workers at the Planet despising her, she worked her way up to the post of editor at the newspaper. Superwoman in the antimatter universe is the first iteration of the character to mix Diana of Themyscira and Lois Lane. The only citizen aware of Superwoman's true identity in this reality is Jimmy Olsen. He is a submissive sexual deviant who does what she says in exchange for the privilege of watching her change her clothes and receive pieces of them for his disguise kit. He is so enamored with her that he overlooks her taunts and insults, even when she publishes her insults against him. A replica of Earth 3 was exhibited as part of the new multiverse in week 52. Characters from the original Justice Society of America, such as Wonder Woman, were included in the representation. The figure is not recognized in 52, but she is subsequently identified as Superwoman of the Crime Society of America on an alternate world. A reverse version of Earth 2 in Countdown to Final Crisis. Here, she is also married to Ultraman. According to Grant Morrison's comments, this parallel universe is not Earth 3 before the crisis, making this a new character unrelated to prior iterations. Even though this version of her possesses Kryptonian abilities, like being able to use heat vision, she is both a Lois Lane and Wonder Woman counterpart, just like the antimatter version of the character. The Earth 3 and antimatter Superwoman, according to Grant Morrison, both exist beyond the year 52. Superwoman and the Crime Syndicate's whole history has been changed as a result of the DC Multiverse's reorganization during Flashpoint. They are no longer from the antimatter universe. Instead, they have returned to Earth 3, a universe dominated by villains rather than heroes. The Crime Syndicate of America was revealed to be behind the secret society of supervillains plot in Justice League number 23 and planned to seize Earth Prime for itself since Darkseid invasion. Superwoman and her companions pass the barrier between the universes and land on Earth Prime after their plan succeeds. Her clothing has been changed. It is largely the same as before, but her lasso is now shaped like a barbed wire. Owlman is depicted as having a relationship with Superwoman in Earth 3 in Justice League number 23.4. Ultraman will soon find out that her unborn kid is not his, but Owlman's, as he and Superwoman discuss in Forever Evil number 2. However, it is revealed in Forever Evil number 7, she says that the child is neither Ultraman's nor Owlman's, but rather Alexander Luthor Sr.'s. When Ultraman asks Superwoman why she betrayed him, she tells him that Alex is stronger than him. Later, Alexander Luthor Sr. is killed when the Crime Syndicate is defeated. Superwoman is imprisoned when she converses with Wonder Woman and informs her that the baby has begun to kick. Superwoman is freed from Argus captivity by the Justice League during the Darkseid War narrative in order to assist the Justice League in dealing with the Anti-Monitor. Once she begins to give birth, she reveals that Mazaz is the real father of her son. I don't know what you think, but honestly I must applaud her for being able to keep track of whose child it is. Juggling 3 men is no simple feat, especially when they are dangerous supervillains. Superwoman begins to give birth during the struggle with the new gods. She is seen using her son to take the Omega Sanction from Lex Luthor shortly after giving birth to her son, as ordered by Owlman. Superwoman was demolished by Grail, who took the baby while Superwoman was busy gloating about her child's newfound strength. Grail then used the baby as a host to resurrect Darkseid, Grail's father, who had been killed by the Anti-Monitor. The multiverse, Earth 3, the Crime Syndicate, as well as their members, are rebooted following the event series Death Metal. The origins of the team and its members are explored in the 2021 Crime Syndicate series. This time, Superwoman is shown as a reincarnation of Donna Troy, who murdered Diana and was celebrated by her mother for it. Unlike the Amazons of Earth Zero, these Amazons relish displaying their might and are prepared to conquer the globe. Most interesting version of Superwoman from Justice League: Crisis on 2 Earths. In the parallel dimension they lived in, Superwoman was one of the 6 significant members of the Crime Syndicate. She had a relationship with Owlman, a teammate she saw as nearly as sociopathic as she was, if not more so. Superwoman is a Superman-like version of Wonder Woman who possesses some of his abilities. She is incredibly strong, nimble, durable, and has the ability to fly. She also has the ability to suck in large amounts of air and is a skilled hand-to-hand fighter, and one of the Syndicate's more formidable heads. Superwoman is the Syndicate's only female leader, and she shares the title of Most Powerful with Ultraman. Her first scene in the film shows her walking with the other Syndicate members in an attempt to apprehend Lex Luthor and the Jester, an alternate version of the Joker, who are heroes in this universe. Luthor escapes using a technology that allows him to travel to parallel worlds, but his companion, the Jester, is captured and killed by the Syndicate. According to Luthor's portrayal of his universe, the Syndicate has complete control over everything and has divided up the provinces that they rule. The Justice League is sent to Luthor's universe, where Owlman and Superwoman are present. The Justice League defeats the Crime Syndicate by a razor-thin margin. In this duel, Superwoman goes toe-to-toe with Superman. Later, Luthor informs them that Superwoman and Owlman are dating, an allusion to the comics in which Superwoman had a hold over both Ultraman and Owlman and exploited them at will. Superwoman then begins to believe Owlman's head isn't in the conquering game, so she interrogates him for a few moments to learn his actual plan. When Owlman refuses to answer the question, Superwoman approaches him, encroaching on his personal space. As she approaches him, he stumbles, and she takes his arms on both sides, securing them on his desk. He gives in and tells her that he believes there is only one worthwhile deed to take if one has that much power. According to Superwoman, both Owlman and Superwoman are deranged killers who want to destroy all the worlds by destroying Earth Prime. According to Owlman, by destroying Earth Prime, all other Earths will be annihilated as well. Later, she and Owlman storm the Justice League's headquarters in their reality, hunting the Quantum Trigger and numerous other Made Men. When the Justice League and Lex Luthor arrived, she and the Made Men started fighting them. Superwoman and the three Made Men, who are nearly as formidable as she is, forced Luthor and the Justice League to flee their headquarters. Fun fact, the headquarters were a flying airplane. Superwoman instructed her minions, the Made Men, to unite to launch a lightning bolt that permanently concealed the ship as the Justice League escaped in Owlman's ship, flown by Wonder Woman in cloak mode. Later, we see that she was one of the few Syndicate members who supported the construction of the QED, a weapon that would wipe out all life on Earth if the planet's governments refused to hand over what little authority they still had to the Crime Syndicate. Owlman, on the other hand, had a much more sinister plan for the QED, to wipe out all realities that had sprouted from the one he dubbed Earth Prime. Owlman was more psychotic at Superwoman, yet she decided to join in on the plot since the idea attracted her. Owlman's personal ambitions for the QED were kept a secret by Superwoman, but her fellow comrades suspected her when Owlman took the QED to Earth Prime without their knowledge. Owlman eventually tasked her with tracking down the Quantum Trigger in the Justice League's realm. While there, she and a handful of her men were confronted by Batman, who she described as quite similar to Owlman, and flirted with and kissed in a cruel and manipulative way. While she dealt with Batman, she dispatched Captain Super, one of her hired guns, to deliver the Quantum Trigger to Owlman. She was torn between sending Batman to his doom and keeping him as her boyfriend. However, she was outwitted when she inadvertently inhaled anesthetic gas from a smoke grenade, which knocked her out. Batman summoned his friends, who chained her to solid metal bars to her dismay. Despite this, while torturing him, she broke one of his ribs. When Batman transferred Owlman and the activated QED to a cold, desolate Earth where it would destroy that Earth without injuring anyone, she and the surviving members of the Syndicate were subsequently brought to justice. Ironically, Superwoman's rifle had been set to that location during their previous encounter, making such an option viable. Despite leaking information about her lover's scheme to the League, Superwoman displayed no guilt for her role, unlike the majority of her fellow members. Superwoman is one cutthroat villain who feels no shame or remorse towards any of her actions. She uses all her charms and wiles to her advantage and keeps other supervillains wrapped around her finger. She can always get them to do anything for her without much effort. However, that is not to say she isn't strong herself. She is pretty strong and capable of much ruin. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already done so. Until next time, have a good one, be safe.